from a different star, flying over streets and our broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubts.
Hello and welcome to weekend number 2 of a stay away. So I just finished packing the lorry, got a big old hay net for the journey because it's a bit of a longer one this time. It's about 3.5 hours. We're going all the way down to Somerset to Chard for British Dressage Home Nations, which is super exciting. Never done this BD team before. You get to wear the England flag. We're representing our South and East region and we're riding at Elementary, which is super exciting. So we've got travelling down today, settle in, opening ceremony, meet everybody, all of that. And then the competition is tomorrow. So we do one test Saturday, one test Sunday, and then prize giving, etc. And then we all head home. So it's going to be a weekend of fun. But yes, I've just finished packing the lorry. So in here we've got all of Mega stuff, lots of hay, shavings, buckets, rugs, massage pad, everything. And then I've loaded all of my stuff into the living. I'm just about to get Mega loaded up and on the road. And for anybody who hasn't done any BD team stuff, I would highly recommend getting involved. It's a great way to meet people all across your region and just get more practice basically in like those sort of championship type environments where there's a lot going on. And it's lovely to be part of obviously a wider team and represent your region, represent your country. Super exciting. To apply for this, we had to put forward our best 4 scores, I think it was, at the level we wanted to ride at. And then basically everybody does that. And there's some other criteria you have to meet. You have to have done 2 BD training sessions in the last couple of years. And I think there's some more like drilled down information, like you need to have done out of your 4 tests, that 2 of them have to be in the last 6 months. They have to be at different venues under different judges, etc. But yeah, it's a super cool experience and I'm so excited that we've been picked to do it. If you've watched any of my vlogs before, you'll have seen that we have done the British Dressage Inter-Regionals teams, which we loved and was super fun. We've also done the inter-county teams. So yeah, this is like a whole new step up, and I suppose the difference between this and the Inter-Regionals is that this, you can have gold, silver and bronze riders. So there could be some really hot partnerships there, whereas at the BD Inter-Regionals it's just bronze and silver. So I mean there's still going to be great, the best of the best from the country there, but obviously with the gold section you could have people who are really established at that level. So we shall see how we get on. So I've got boots, all of my stuff, Mega stuff for her stable, food, all important trolley, Crocs, because are you at a stay away if you're not wearing Crocs? And then bedding. Haven't decided yet whether I want to go for a sleeping bag or bedding, so I'm taking both. And that's us ready to go. So before we get underway, do you want a little snack haul? I mean, it's quite small, but in here I've got M&S cookies, 2 of them, and then some fudge that I brought at Burley yesterday, the Fudge Kitchen. Oh my God, it was divine. Sea salted caramel and chocolate swirl flavour. Pan au chocolat for on the road, some fruit just to try and be healthy, some chicken bites, and then I have also got the all-important Pepsi Max and some water for the drive. Oh, and a protein yogurt. Let's go. So the stable is all set up. Got a little shavings bed because it's grass, haven't had to put loads down. And then because the stable doors are all closed in, I put her little stable guard here so she can actually have a look out. But she said, I'm super chilled, happy as Larry. And we had, actually it was an all right journey for the majority. And then silly Lauren didn't follow the instructions for the way the venue told us to go, and I ended up down some very tight lanes, but we made it. Just a bit slower, wasn't it? She's such a good girl. We are all set up. Got our England flags. Hannah's next door to us. Next has just been for arena familiarisation. Having some snackettes. Gonna take you for a hand graze, aren't we? Yes. But she said, I'm very settled. I don't mind. As long as I got food.
When I'm home, well, I know I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be actually leaving us. So can we have a bit of a boo because Joe Burns leaving? That's sad, isn't it? Hardy Mansion, 85, Mel Day, and Sarah Miller. For the Southeast Spain, John Chopping, Terry Love, Lauren Lannis, and Theo, Savannah Tino. For the Southwest, Sam Fabulous,
Alright, my daughter did the youth animations a few weeks ago,
Late night checks with the Megwin. She's a good girl, all settled. Laurie is all set up for bed, ready to get a good night's rest before competition begins tomorrow. She was a good girl in the arena familiarisation earlier. It was schooling really nicely, so fingers crossed more of that for tomorrow. But first, early night and rest for me. Yummy, yummy breakfast. Just been dragged across the field to this perfect spot of grass. A bit of hand grazing this morning. We're not on until, I think it's about 12:30 for our first test. So we've got a little bit of time, which is nice. So can hopefully go and watch some people and then get her platted and get all sorted, tacked up. Then it'll be our turn. But Meg said until then, I'm enjoying the green grass. Plats are all in, looking super smart. And I can actually show you this now. Mega has got her Equestrian magnetic therapy rug on. So the bottom bit, as you can see, is a really lightweight breathable mesh. And then up here is where you can put the magnets, and they just Velcro into this whole black portion of the rug. So you can put them wherever you like. So I've got one either side on her quarters here, one either side here, and then I've got one either side around her shoulder area. But you can see it's a really nice fit. Comes with a really good fillet string, nice little fluffy padding. It does also come with a neck cover, so you can put magnets on the neck if you want to. And then yeah, this really good fastening at the front, which is super adjustable, because Meg is actually really broad on her shoulders, so I sometimes struggle with rugs fitting her, but this one fits really well, and I'm sure you'll agree looks super smart as well as being good for the Megwin. I love these for if they're in the stable a lot, standing around, just to keep all the circulation and good feelings going. Hey Megs. And then before it was our turn to ride, I actually popped over to the arenas to watch and support my friend Hannah. So I actually met Hannah and Cluedo through Instagram. We have since been on a horsey holiday together. We've been and supported and watched each other at competitions, because we're not based too far away from each other, probably a little over an hour. But this is the first time we've actually been at a stay away together with both our horses, so it was lovely to be able to cheer each other on all weekend long. Somebody looks raring to go. Megwin, you're snoozing. She's had her massage pad on. Now we're just going to get tucked up. And then it was our first test, elementary 5. So we enter up the centre line in collected trot, halt at X, and then proceed in collected trot to C and then track left. We scored a 6 from all 3 judges with a comment of resisting halt, unbalanced halt, wide behind in halt, etc. It wasn't Mega's best. Then we changed the rein in medium trot S to F, transitioning back to collected trot at F. We scored a 6.5 from all 3 judges with a comment of a little quick or hurried, and that her hind legs were trailing a little bit. We then turn down the centre line at A, and we do a leg yield right from D to B. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6 with a comment of tense in the contact or a bit more fluency needed. We then at B circle left 10 metres. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6 with a comment of the circle was a bit large. Whoopsie, naughty Lauren. Between B and M, we shoulder in left and then go back to collected trot M, C, H, S. So all along the short arena is included in this mark as well. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6 with comments of losing fluency and resisting the contact. At S, we do a half 10 metre circle to I and then another half 10 I to R. We scored a 6, a 6.5 and a 7 for that. So we split the judges. The judge at E thought my circles were a bit too large, so clearly my accuracy went a bit awry here. We then do the medium trot across the diagonal again. We scored a 6.5, a 5 and a 6.5 with a comment about losing balance, which was a bit of a shame. We then turn up the centre line at A and leg yield left D to E. We scored a 6.5 from all 3 judges with a comment of a little tight through the body, quarters trailing and some contact. At E, we do the 10 metre circle. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5. So clearly my accuracy and shape was better that time. We do shoulder in, E to H, and come back to collected trot at H. We scored a 6, a 6.5 and a 7. Comments of too much neck bend or losing the left shoulder there. Then at C, we transitioned to medium walk. We scored all 7s with no comment. And then we changed the rein M to V in extended walk. We scored 2 6.5s and a 7 with comments about seeking the contact more and a bit more activity and ground cover to increase the marks, which I think is absolutely fair. I've been riding the walks a little bit tentative recently because Mega's been jogging, so I would rather that than us have a costly mistake, which links nicely to the change the rein in medium walk V to F. We scored a 6 and 2 7s just with comments of cautious and could be more active, but as I say, that was a bit deliberate and I think I managed that okay. We then transitioned to collected canter at A, and Mega, as you can see, knew that this was coming, so we scored a 5.5, a 4 and a 6.5 with a comment of miscommunication, wrong strike off initially, quickly corrected, which was a real shame. We then did the medium canter V to H. We scored a 5.5, a 6 and a 5 with comments of need clearer difference, more ground cover and clearer transition. At C, we do our 15 metre circle. We scored 2 6.5s and a 7, needing a bit more suppleness at the general comments there. Then we do our half circle 10 metres to the centre line between M and R, our simple change, and then another half 10 back to the track. We scored 6.5s across the board from all 3 judges about our straightness and the contact. We then do a single loop 5 metres away from the track, S to K. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5 with a comment of more suppleness. We'd actually been working on these in my lesson with Jez recently, so I think that's been helping how I ride those. And then P to M, we do medium canter, coming back to the collected canter at M. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6 with a comment of needing to lengthen the frame more, little difference shown and against the hand. At C, we do our 15 metre circle. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5 with a comment of suppleness. and then we do our half circle left 10 meters from the track to the center line, our simple change, and then another half 10 back to the track. We scored 2 6s and a 6.5 for this one, with a comment of abrupt, balance to the walk and a bit tense, which I agree with. Out of the 2 simple changes, that wasn't as good. We then do the single loop 5 meters away from the track, R to F. We scored a 6.5, a 7 and another 6.5, with comments of more suppleness, which Mega can be a little bit more stiffer on this rein. Then at A, we turned down the centre line. Meg got a little bit feisty, as you can see, with a comment of becoming tense, but we still got 2 7s and a 6. Transitioning back to trotter L, we got 2 7s and a 5.5, with a comment of resisting the transition, and halt 6.5, 5.5 and a 7.5, not quite square. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5 for paces, 6.5 across the board for impulsion, 6s and 6.5 for cooperation, and 2 6.5s and a 7 for my position and seat. Just sheltering in the lorry from the wind. Honestly, I can't tell you how windy it is here. I feel like a little bit wind burnt. But yeah, I actually thought the test went okay. It wasn't our best test by any means, but equally it wasn't our worst. And because of the wind and I think the setup of the arenas, I don't know, quite a few horses today have been finding it quite spooky, quite stressful, and throwing their toys out the pram. So I'm actually pleased with Meg that all that came out from her was a little bit of tension. She held it together otherwise. Obviously we had some mistakes, so we had the walk to canter. She struck off on the wrong leg initially, which is really annoying, and then our simple changes weren't great. When in the upward transition she was chucking her head up, and I think in the final centre line when you come down in canter, I think she changed behind or went disunited or something. So we got a couple of 5.5s for those, which I will absolutely take. They're completely fair. But obviously we know she can do a much better test than that. But it is what it is, that you have to ride the horse you have on the day. So like I said, I will take that. We are sitting in 18th place overnight out of 26, on a score of, it was 64 point something. And there's not a huge amount in it score wise, up the leaderboard. So without those mistakes, I think she'd have been, up there, which is really reassuring to think about. So all we can do is put that behind us and give it our best shot tomorrow. So we're doing elementary 6, which I think I've literally done once before in my life, which is the regionals test. And in a little while actually we're going to go down to the arenas and do a little bit of a walkthrough apparently with our regional coaches. So that'll be interesting, and see how it goes. But let's just pray for good weather, because currently I think the forecast is showing wind and rain, so we'll see. Please, weather gods, be on our side. Happy as Larry. Good morning. Look at that for a beautiful sunrise. Up for our final day. Got my Mega's brekkie, and let's go get her ready. Wow, look at that. I don't know if the camera's doing it justice, but that's beautiful. We did have a lay down because I just had to brush off some mud that was on her hocks. We've lost a couple of plaits overnight. I need to reband those. But she's looking super smart. Cluedo and Meg will make friends. Licks through the gap. Oh! Got the massage pad on, having a little chill before we start getting tacked up. And it started raining. I don't know if you can hear it on the roof. Marvellous, hey Meg. I don't know if you can hear me over the sound of the rain on the roof. We need to get on. It's disgusting. Meg said, are you mental? We'll just stay here and nap instead. Ugh. So unfortunately the rain did not let up, so by this point I was absolutely soaked. My boots were slipping and sliding all over the saddle, and it was just going to be a case of getting through the test. I knew it wasn't going to be our best test by any sense of the word. So we enter in collected trot, halt at X, and then proceed down the centre line at C, track left. We scored 2 6.5s and a 5.5 from the judge at E, who commented about her resting her left hind, which is why we got that lower mark. We then changed the rein in medium trot, S to F, and then in that mark there's also collected trot, FAKV, around the short side of the arena. We scored 2 6s and a 6.5 with comments of a bit modest, limited. Yes, well that was because she decided to go for a poo. But we move on. At V, we do a 10-metre circle right. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5 with just a comment of could have more supple bend. Then between V and S, we do shoulder in right. We scored 6.5s across the board with comments of further engagement, more uniform bend, or a bit more fluency. We then half circle right 10 metres from S to I. We scored 7s across the board for that. Then at X we leg yield right to K, and then within the same mark KAFP collected trot we scored 2 6.5s and a 6 with a comment of quarters trailing, some head tilting, needs more crossing. Then at P we circle left 10 metres. We scored a 6, a 7 and a 6.5, so a range of marks. Again, with comments of the circle being a little large, which, yes, from this angle you can definitely see I crossed the centre line a little bit too much there. We then do shoulder in left, P to R. We scored a 7, 6.5 and a 6. Again, a range of marks. A little comment there about needing suppleness at the beginning. Then at R, we half circle 10 metres to I. We scored a 6, a 5.5 and a 6.5 just because of the comment there about her tripping. And we then leg yield left to F, and then again FAK collected trot. We scored 2 6s and a 6.5, again with comments about her quarters trailing. And then we changed the rein V to M, change in medium trot, and then come back to collected trot at M. We scored 2 6s and a 6.5 with comments on needing to come more from behind and be a bit more uphill. We then halt at C and do rein back 3 to 5 steps and then proceed in medium walk. We scored a 7 and 2 6.5s, just with a bit more comments on more suppleness and acceptance into the contact. We then proceed in medium walk, change the rein in extended walk, HIB. We scored a 6.5 and 2 6s with just comments of needing more overtrack, more purpose, more stretch, which, yes, we would like, but we were just literally trying to ignore the lightning that was going on at the same time. We then changed the rein in medium walk, BLK. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6, again with more comments about needing more activity and it being a bit tentative. We were just, like I say, riding it safely, and even more so in the conditions. It was literally the worst conditions I've ever ridden in, never mind competed. Then at A, we transitioned to canter left. As you can see, Meg slightly anticipated that, so we got a 5.5, a 6 and a 6.5. Then at P, we circle left 20 metres, and when we cross the centre line for the second time, you transition for 2 to 5 strides back to trot and then back into canter. We scored 2 6.5s and a 6, just with comments of being more over the back or more forward in that transition. Then we do the line PIG in canter, and then at C, track left, we scored a 7, 6.5 and a 6, just with comments of being a bit more supple in the bend. We then half circle 10 metres to the centre line, a simple change, half circle back to the track. We scored all 6s from the judge judges on that particular one. Again, not our most fluent simple changes, unfortunately. We medium canter R to F, and then back to collected canter at F. We scored a 6.5, a 4 and a 6. And that was because we didn't show any give and retake over the reins over A, which was the next mark, but one of the judges seems to have moved it forward a bit. And for the other judges, we scored a 5 and 2 6.5s. Then at V, we circled 20 metres, repeating what we did on the other rein, back to trot, and then up into canter. We scored 2 7s and a 6.5. And then we do the collected canter VIG, and then track right at C. We scored a 7 and 2 6s, just with a comment about balance there. Repeating the half 10s to the centre line with the simple changes, we did a 6.5 and 2 6s, just with comments of the straightness, which that was definitely down to the rein. As you can see, it's picked up a little bit now, so it was proving a bit more difficult to keep her straight. She was trying to avoid the rein. We do our medium canter there. She scored 2 6.5s and a 6, just about more ground cover and more uphill. Turn down the centre line and then transition back to trot, and here it was really difficult to keep her straight and in a rhythm, which affected our marks. We got 2 6s and a 5, and then our halt we got 2 7s and a 6.5. Paces were 2 7s and a 6, 6.5 and 6 for impulsion, 6.5 across the board for cooperation, and 6.5 and 7 for my position and seat.
Oh! Well, I have never ridden in a torrential rain with thunder and lightning before, but we did it, so this jacket, it doesn't do it justice on camera. It's absolutely soaked through. I'm pretty sure I've got puddles in my boots as well. Look at my hair. That was in a bun, soaked. Poor Meggie, she really tried, bless her. I'm actually wet down through to my underpants, so I'm gonna have a full change of clothes. I've got water in my boots because they made us dismount because there was thunder and lightning at the end. So then I was having to walk through a sodden menage in my lovely De Niro boots. Yeah, literally you're gonna have a full change of clothes, new underwear, everything. Poor Megwin. What a little legend. The inside of my boots completely soaked, and look at them. I could literally wring them out, they're that soaked. These breeches may have been sacrificed to the gods. I'm not convinced they're going to come clean again. This is how much rain we have had in about 2 hours. Had a bit of time to now get changed, dry off. But on reflection of our test, I'm actually not that displeased with how it's gone. Like, given the circumstances that we were in, the conditions we were having to ride in, I knew going into that we're never going to be producing our best work. And I'm just pleased that she didn't like down tools on me and say like, Mum, what the hell are we doing? Like, she just trusted me, listened to me, and really tried her best to do what I was asking. And because of the weather, we just threw away a lot of marks, so it was nowhere near the sort of test that we can produce. But we know the reasons why, like things like the rain driving up her bum meant her quarters were all over the place, so like her medium canter, her quarters were in, her simple changes she was all wibbly wobbly. But then also because of the weather, you know what it's like, they go a bit like worm like, don't they? So even things like keeping my circles the right shape and size was hard because she was trying to avoid the rain. So we just threw away a lot of marks, but it is what it is. That's what the conditions were on the day, and I rode the horse that I had underneath me. Like I say, I'm really proud that the partnership we have meant that she just carried on and really tried for me. I don't know if I mentioned, but they actually stopped the competition. I was the last rider to ride their test, and they stopped it completely for an hour and a half because of the thunder and lightning. They deemed it not safe, so the whole competition was put on pause, and then it restarted. And actually since then it's been dry. There's been a little bit of rain, but nowhere near what it was like earlier. So yeah, we probably had the most challenging conditions of the day, and my little horse put her head down and got on with it, bless her. But being here has been an incredible experience. I would definitely love to come back and do it again, and hopefully like showcase actually more of what we're genuinely capable of. But it's really opened my eyes up actually to the level of like quality combinations that are here that are competing. One of the girls I know through Instagram, Laura Crew, she came second I think in the elementary, and yeah, her horse is just like, oh my god, insane. And she's a really, really good rider, ridden up to advanced medium I think. Oh, that might be wrong. But yeah, it's proper inspo to come back, get more established, and actually be even more competitive next time, because I know we've been doing it for about a year, but I still feel like there's so much fine tuning and improvement we can still get with the elementary, and you'll never find me as somebody who's just gonna rush up through the levels just to say that I ride at a certain level. I'd rather be really competent and absolutely nail it at a level before biting off more than we can chew, basically. So yes, we're just waiting for the prize giving. We obviously individually have come nowhere to report, and I'm not even sure the team I'm in has particularly, but South and East have got a few teams, so we're just waiting to see where they've come. And we'll have our prize giving, pick up our rosettes, a plaque, basically the only reason I came, and the England kit basically. So we're just waiting around for that, and then we'll be getting on the road.
Dior and all of the Southwest teams, the host nations here this week. So we've got North and West, are they in already? We've got North and West. What about South and East? There we are, come on South and East, in you go. Now's your big moment. Give us a cheer, give us a wave. And our host this week, the team, the brilliant team as well, from the South and East, they're here. And what about your home team this week? Please welcome the Southwest!
And that's us all done. Just giving her a quick hand graze before we get on the road for our long old journey home. But what a little superstar she's been. Can't fault her. So easy to take away. And fingers crossed we will be back to do Home Nations again another year at another venue. Watch this space. Thanks for joining us, guys. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe for another video very soon. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye, Maggie.